Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and Sunshine Cup is almost around the corner, so here are my top 4 teams that you can use for that Go Battle League Cup, and of course I believe that with a little bit of effort any of those teams can be used with success, so stay tuned till the end if you do not want to miss any of that good analyze that I'm gonna do on any particular team. So we're having now the first team out of the total 4 with Noctowl up on the lead, at the back the Mamoswine and Noctowl as our safe switch. I like Noctowl on this cup. It's much like the version of Pidgeot which we're gonna see on another team composition, but here for this team I like it even more because it can provide some extra bulk for its backline. So we're having Mamoswine as our closer, and trust me when I say this, Mamoswine might be the biggest asset that you can use on the entire cup, especially on the closing part, able to annihilate down unsuspected opponents with high horsepowers, and all those grass in combination with the flyers are just gonna get one-shotted down by your avalanches. Sometimes Mamoswine will also be there for you to check out, but I believe that Mamoswine for the Great League will just perform much better. As a safe switch here, we've got the amazing Noctowl able to spam its way to victory with back to back, how many back to back you want body slams, while payback is gonna be your main second charge attack. If you're going to replace payback, feel free to go with wild charge. It's gonna help you a lot against certain water type Pokemon and of course against flyers, which is pretty neat. On my practice battles I still had some trouble against a wild charge Noctowl, so feel free to experiment on your safe switch for sure. As a core breaker here we have the Magcargo, mainly because of its ability to go pretty rough on the ice types and the flyers. However, the double kicks, the shadow balls, or even a pure high horsepower can deal with that threat, so I haven't found any other solid core breaker, so that's why I have Magcargo here, and this team will work fantastically well for you on the Sunshine Cup. Back in Evolution Cup, we were all about the chances and the Vigoroths. Well, this Sunshine Cup might be kinda the same, so we're gonna have here the Vigoroth on this team up on the lead, while at the back we're gonna have kind of a weird backline, but still with the Vigoroth being such a safe pick for the meta, you are not gonna see a safe switch for this team at all. I have it just for the memes, the Abomasnow, but I believe that most of the times you're gonna stay in with your Vigoroth. Perhaps you want to switch out at a position, something like a Trevenant up against you, so that you can be on a very good spot on the end game with your Alolan Marowak. Hopefully Chansey will not be that much around in the meta, but enough about this Pokemon, I already hate it, and we're gonna see that at the back the Alolan Marowak doesn't carry the standard moveset with Fire Spin and Bone Club. Instead you have to use as your closer the Alolan Marowak, especially if you have a Shadow one, with Hex, Fire Blast and Shadow Bone. This means that it will just connect more moves for bigger damage pretty easily, and I believe that with Shields down this Pokemon will be unstoppable in the meta, especially the Fire Blast coming in pretty clutch against most neutral threats. Abomasnow, feel free to use the regular one if you do not have a Shadow. I'm just gonna use the Shadow because I don't know, I just feel that the pressure from those Powder Snows and the Weather Balls is just much more than usual. Vigoroth a very safe pick, and of course this team will provide a lot of solid answers for your opposing lines. As a core breaker here I have decided to add Blaziken, mainly because of its counter being super effective to Vigoroth. However, it's a Glassimon and it will struggle a lot against that Marowak, while it has a very good matchup against Abomasnow. Definitely a core breaker for this line, but not that much of a big one. You can definitely play around it. For the next team showcase, we're gonna have Pidgeot, the top Pokemon of Sunshine Cup according to PvPoke at least, and let's see how well it can work on this meta, because I have a feeling that we're gonna see a lot of Pidgeots around. Since it has the move Feather Dance, it can be very annoying for a lot of teams, and of course Brave Bird can absolutely annihilate down a lot of meta relevant Pokemon with one shots, which is pretty cool, not only against super effective damage but also neutral and perhaps not very effective as well. This Pokemon hits like a truck with its Brave Bird. At the back, Swampert, you already know how cool it is, but I'd suggest to go for that Sludge Wave over that Earthquake, because Sludge Wave is gonna give you coverage against most of the grass types, and of course Earthquake will most likely not gonna be needed at all. As a safe switch, Steelix here, if you have a Shadow, that's another point for you. I believe that Dragon Tails and Psychic Fangs are just gonna add up in damage so much for any opponent, while your Crunchies are gonna be your main way to go as your charge attack. Earthquake not so much, especially on a meta like this one with a lot of flyers and grasses. I believe that Crunch might be one of those, might be pretty clutch for your team. Core breaker of this line, none other than Ferrothorn, because it can simply hold down that Swampert, has a pretty solid matchup against Steelix, and of course the Thunder can hurt flyers, something like a Pidgeot, which is extremely glassy. Proceeding now into the final one, and we're having a Tropius up on the lead, Galarian Stunfisk at the back, and Miltank as our safe switch. So about Tropius, you can always use it with its standard moveset, Air Slash, Aerial Ace and Leaf Blade, but feel free to rotate around your Razor Leaf if you want to pressure even more some certain threats. I believe though that Air Slash is gonna help you a little bit more against other grass types, which is a key element for this cap, and it is not a lie here, but you can still reach to those moves pretty easily with Air Slash, which is pretty neat for a bulky flyer like Tropius. If you do not have Tropius for your roster of Great League, because it is gonna be a regional after all and kinda rare, we recently had an event about a couple of months ago about Tropius, but if you still do not have one, feel free to use something like a Jumpluff. It is still gonna perform slightly the same because of the same typings. At the back, the Galarian Stunfisk is not gonna be that great like it is on the Open Great League formats, but still it's gonna be pretty pressuring for a lot of teams. I like its ability to go in with those Rock Slides for the flyers, Earthquake for coverage against those fires for sure. One-shot possibility is always a pretty nice one for this Pokemon, and if you can play it correctly, draw out that Vigoroth of the opponent, Blaziken and Obstacle, whatever they have with your Miltank, finish it off with your Tropius. Perhaps they have no other counter to your Fisk, and you're gonna be on a very good spot overall against their remaining flyers. As a safe suit here, the Miltank is gonna be able to spam its way to victory with those body slams, but to be honest, for the second charge attack, feel free to rotate around Thunderbolt if you want to have some more coverage against water types, and perhaps it will help you a lot more over that Ice Beam, because Ice Beam will be kinda problematic against some certain threats, but it will give you some answers against other neutral threats, something like Galarian Stunfisk for example. As a core breaker here, we're having the Mamoswine, but it doesn't matter at all because you still can pressure it with those Leaf Blades for super effective damage, and because this Pokemon is super glassy, it is gonna struggle a lot. I'm not sure if you can outspeed with the Air Slashes to a Leaf Blade that Mamoswine, but still it is worth trying towards the end game, and you can always rotate around your Miltank for that threat, to be honest. You can definitely expect a high horsepower on your Galarian Stunfisk, but other than that, I think you're gonna be just fine, and Mamoswine is gonna be there, but not that harsh of a core breaker. And that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching and staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. A huge thank you to my supporters and my members, and with that said, feel free to click on the next video that might be of interest to you. Feel free to do it, why not? It is Ultra League after all, and you got to try it out. Come on, what are you waiting for? Go for it. Click the video. You got it.